The ground is still very muddy underneath, so I just moved my daffs into this bed, which I've tipped my potato soil into, and found quite a few little marble-sized spuds that I've rescued, and just going to leave it to winter now. So that'll be it for the time being. I've pulled up as much of the hay as I can and just left the beans there. These are field beans, which is green manure. This bed I've chopped back the grass and covered it. That's got compost and manure and some topsoil in there, so just leave that now to weather in. I've managed to make a space for Marley today. Marley, come round here. He's got to be on a lead at the moment because he'd be too free otherwise. Come here. Because he's still a young dog, he thinks every dog that goes past is a playmate. So, Marley. So we've got his bed out here, although he hasn't gone in it. Got him a bit of food and water in the shade. And I'm not going to do anything with the strawberries at the moment. They're weathering quite well, and I think if I disturb them it mightn't do them any favours. This rhubarb is coming on much too quickly. The other one, I've just checked, there are shoots underneath. This bed, I've put the top collar on, and I've cut back all the hay, grass, and turned it over, covered it over with this old membrane. I'm not going to use my good stuff on here, but this should now rot in. Didn't mention this. This is my little climbing plant here. It's like a little rose. Well, it is a little rose. It's a climbing rose. It seems to be doing quite well over the winter. Come the spring, that should be all the way up the trellis here. The hedge, well, what can I say? It's about 3 times the size it was when I planted it, but still not really much. And here's my saffron crocuses with a couple of daffs coming up in between them. And hopefully next year I'll be able to harvest some saffron because it is my favourite spice. I'm going to redo the nuts and the fat balls today, but I'll have to secure the pole because it's been, well, basically the ground underneath it is so wet that it's just leaning over. There's nothing actually holding it there at the moment. I did put a stake in, but as you can see, even that's come loose. So, but the raised beds are looking properly raised now. All I want to do with these now, bit of cardboard, and then some soil, some manure, some more straw, more soil, and bring them up to about 3 or 4 inches from the top. Somebody did me a favour and painted that one green, so saved me a little bit of hassle when it comes to painting the others. And poor old Marley, he doesn't like the idea of being tethered, but until I get my fence up, it's the only way to keep him under control. Because I've only had him 6 weeks, he's still getting used to, well, not being able to just run about, because he would chase after every dog in the neighbourhood if he could, just to play. Here's the other rose. This one is from Roy next door, and it is in leaf there. I said yesterday it doesn't look like there's much else happening, but there is actually a bud on the end of this one, and on that one there's a little tiny leaf. So you never know, they might just hook. Let's take this rubbish out. I deliberately put them on these are these roll out edgings, but I deliberately stood them on that to keep them away from beasties for the time being until they get established, which they almost are. Isn't it unbelievable, you know, end of January, my daffs are nearly finished. Having said that, I've still got some fresh ones coming up, so it's not too bad at all. The fuchsia looks a little bit dead. But before the winter set in, I took some cuttings and I've got some lovely growth inside, so they'll be going back out come spring. Primroses, well, I don't know, I don't think they don't look too brilliant. The heather's looking a bit lost, but as I understand it, it will die back and then come up again. Something's been pulling my daft bulbs up because they were a good 2 or 3 inches under the soil. So it might have just been washed out by the rain actually, but that much rain. So what's the point of buying an expensive little dog bed just so your dog can sleep on the chippings? Hey? Molly is a good boy, eh? He's a lovely boy. There we go. I'm not one for getting dogs to do tricks, but he kind of likes doing some things for treats. Here, boy. Molly, what's this? What's this? Up. Come on up. Good boy. It's just sit, stay, and up. And heel. Heel's the one we're working on. It's hard work. But that's it. That's how it's looking at the moment. Sun's shining. There's no point going up the plot because it is still soaking wet. Even here my soil's absolutely ringing. I'm going to put some chives and some, what do you call it, the mint, chives, mint, and any other herbs that get my fancy. But I'm putting them in pots so they don't spread all over my garden. Oh, when I was tipping out the potato soil, I found what's left of my Christmas crop. There we go, tiny little spuds. Barely enough for a handful, but certainly not a meal's worth. But all good condition, no scab. It's a shame. The soil is now transplanted into this bed, which I've built up to the second collar today, and that is all the soil out of the potatoes. And would you believe we've got insects? It's not really a pollinator, big fly. And this is the end of January, don't expect to see them at this time of year. What's going on with our weather? Crazy, absolutely crazy. Well, that's it for now. I'll do a bit more when I do anything else.